So welcome again to our Friday focus on careers in sport with Colin. And I've got the other half. I've got Steve Franks, the better looking half of SCL. Steve Franks is in the house today, going to talk through his journey from a footballer, apprentice footballer, right through to where he is now as now these things are like tongue twisters, Steve. Chief Operating Officer, is that right? Of SCL?
Chief Commercial Officer.
Chief Commercial Officer of SCL, right. Thank you very much. Thank you very much for clarifying that. So I think first thing we've got to do is say happy birthday, not to you yourself because you're not 20, but happy birthday to SCL, 20 years old this year. Does it feel like it's been 20 years?
No, it doesn't, because time has flown so quickly. And actually saying that, Carl, having the being within lockdown, you've obviously got a bit more time, and you sort through a few drawers in my office, and I come across loads of old pictures of myself and Lewis when we very first started. We had a totally different logo. We had vans, Citroen Berlingo vans, and and the pictures were all of us when we had our little kickers course. Over at Frensham, and the team coaching. We used to do a lot of team coaching, and it just had loads of pictures that I haven't seen for probably about 18 years plus.
So how were your tracksuits like then? What were your tracksuits like then?
I've seen your interview with Lewis, so our tracksuits were Umbro retro ones. I know that he said he saw some person running down the street in one, but they were cheap and cheerful from the local sports shop that was chucking them out, really. So we got two tracksuits, right, and put our logo on it. And have
you still got it?
I wish I had. I wish. Do you know what? There's lots of things, like we were just saying before. There's lots of things I wish I would have kept, but you don't. I really wish that we'd have kept, kit. So we could see, the old tops that we had, the old tracksuits that we had, to see that journey
and see your progression. Yeah. So I guess one of the things I'm sort of getting with these is this is all about careers in sport. And actually, I'll show you now. I've added merchandise, but
I haven't. But I'd like one. Can you get one swinging my way, please, Carl?
I can try my hard. I'll speak to some people and see what I can do.
Works the magic.
But look, so it is careers in sport, and one of the things I know we've had a chat about is that we're both where we are now. But obviously we were both a long time ago for a long longer ago for me than for yourself. But like a long time ago, we were 16, 17-year-old lads, 17-year-old students, like the students we have on our courses. So we want to try and really, really show this for them, that actually, do you know what, is that wherever you are now, this is where you can become. So tell me all about your journey. What was your journey through sports? So if I went back to 16-year-old Steve Franks, leaving school, tell me about it. Where did you go? Well, what did you want to do to start with? What did you want to do?
Do you know what I wanted to be? I wanted to be a footballer, like everyone else. Right. And whatever way you look upon it, you just weren't up to standard of what needed to be a professional footballer. I played non-league football, so I left school. To be honest, obviously me and you've been talking. What I want to do is really try and get the learners to relate to where me and you've come from. And I've seen the interviews from Matt Piper and Duncan Hards and Lewis, and I think it'd be really good for our learners to understand the many different routes that you've got in life, but still involved in sport. At school, academically, I wasn't fantastic. I got on with it. I'd done what I needed to do, but I wasn't the brightest spark in the classroom. That took me to the sports field. That's where I was in. That's where my enjoyment was. That's where I got out, and just let everything loose on the sports field, no matter what sport it was. It was just freedom away from that classroom. I was a doer, and in the classroom at school, you were always sitting behind a desk, always listening to lessons, and it's not the way that doers learn. We learn by doing things, practically doing things. So left school, average GCSEs, went on to do a college course in leisure and tourism, because I didn't know what to do. And I think that's really key with our learners. They don't always know what to do. And one bit of advice I would say is don't be scared of it. Don't be frightened if you don't know what you want to do. Because all these courses now, Carl, which, look, you've taught a lot longer than I have. These courses can go off in so many different pathways into so many different careers. I just didn't know what to do. So all I knew is I wanted to play football and I wanted to be involved in sport. So I left at college, got all my qualifications at college, played non-league football at Farnborough and Aldershot, and then you had to come into the big wide world of work. Do you know what? I thought about being a fitness instructor, football coach. I wasn't keen at being either or, but I just wanted to be involved in sport. Got involved in football coaching, and to be honest, it was there when I got my love of coaching football. Really enjoyed it. Got all my coaching badges. Got a full-time job once I come back from the States coaching out there, which was a fantastic experience. And I would advise any learner to go out to the States, to do Camp America, to do any. I just done football coaching out there. But if you can go abroad, use your qualifications, it really does make you grow as a person, worldly wise. So I really do advise any of our learners to go out and get that experience, because it really put me and others in good stead once you come back home. Once I got back home, I got offered a full-time position as a football coach. And to be honest, Carl, it grew from there into the present day that we are. Through football coaching, me and Lewis started the business up. And we do like you asked me, has it been a long time, 20 years? No, it hasn't, because we've done every single job in the company, from pumping up football, sticking letters sticking stamps on letters, doing our own promotions, creating our own videos, doing fates, working in schools, secondary schools, sixth form colleges, universities, myself and apprenticeships, myself and Lewis has done every single job within inside the company, where I think people look at us and go, wow, you're business owners, your positions that you hold within the company. But I think us, we've rolled up our sleeves and we're doers.
So I guess that's one of the big things for the students as well watching this, is that it's not just like you look at somebody and go, wow, Steve Franks, lucky bloke, you're sat there, owning this company with your partner and everything's great and gravy. But they don't understand is, like you just said, is you've gone through all that. You were the coach to start with. So when our students go out and see their coaches, that was you've done that. When the students go in with their tutors, that's what you've done that. So
we can really relate to it, Colin, and obviously we were speaking before, and talking about the courses that we run with our learners, and our learners this day and age, our learners are very lucky because they've got the benefits of the 10 years plus that we've been devising these courses. And when I tutored, like yourself, and we've made these practical based courses. We've looked at modular based courses, because doing learners are not good at exams at the end. We want to be portfolio based building, because it builds up the evidence, it builds up the confidence. You can revisit it, and all these modules that the boys and girls are doing with inside our educational settings, backed up with the football or the rugby or the cricket or whatever extracurricular activity is put alongside their program. You're taking what you're learning theoretically and you're putting it practically into into your sport, into your work. And I think it's brilliant. When we very first started, it was like doing an apprenticeship. We had probably about 40 learners at a place in Surrey, in Tomlinscote, and we handpicked the best ones, Cole, to come and deliver the coaching sessions. So they're working with us in the the primary division of the company, working with the 4 to 12-year-olds, working in holidays, the after school clubs. And they were coming out at the age of 19 like you would have a 24, 25-year-old coach, because they had that much experience. They were submerged for 2 years of coaching, playing, the educational side, and then taken out practically, which was, myself and Lewis just had a whole talent pool of young, fantastic young people. And look, Cole, they didn't always stay with us. They went on to state agencies. They went on to salespeople within other companies. But you know what? We keep in contact with them.
Good.
And the skills they learn, we bumped into one of the other guys, probably about a year or so ago, and he went into being a estate agent. And his skill set that he learned from being with us, talking to adults, talking to kids, families, relating, knowing the local areas, knowing the schools, it made him a really well-rounded person for the estate agent to employ him.
So going from my experience is that's so true. What you're saying is that our kids are on these courses, and it might be a BTEC sport course or NCFE, whatever it is, but that just gives you the foundation to be your person. I don't know if you've heard the story I always tell, is that I've got an ex-student of mine. She wasn't going to come back for her second year. We said, no, you can't come back. She was such a pickle. I'll say that. She's such a pickle. That's it. She was a bit of a pickle. She wrote a letter to appeal it. We let her back in. She did the second year. I worked quite hard with her on that second year. She went away. She's gone to university. The last summer, she completed her master's degree in law. Now,
brilliant.
What about that? That's something in it. And all she did, I mean, not all, but her founding was her BTEC or a BTEC, diploma in sport, an extended diploma. And that's where she went to do. I mean, that's ace.
Doesn't that make you proud of somebody to have, a small snippet in someone's life?
Yeah.
To hopefully, like you said, like we're saying, build your skill sets, your soft skills, your life skills, whatever you 100%. Want to call it. Give them the knowledge and the information, then to go on and do their job. I mean, that's why me and Lewis wake up every morning and go into work, is because of so many of these great stories that we've got running straight, not just through our primary division, but through our, ENT division.
The whole company, yeah. Listen, we've talked about him. He's not here, so we can say what we want, really. Hopefully, then I can have a job like tomorrow. But crossbar challenge.
Yes.
Lewis, now let me get it right. Lewis, did he get a pro contract?
No, there's a few things in the interview that I've watched and I thought it's not true. It's not. I know my mate. I know him really well. It was a YT. So I'm going to get that. Yeah, professionals when you sign a contract. Didn't sign a contract, so he's a YT.
Right, there we go then.
So he was at a club.
Didn't he? Crossbar challenge, he had 11 goes.
Yeah, probably 11 plus.
How many did you have?
Just the one, Colin.
Is that all you need?
That's all I needed.
Let's see. Now that's like life, isn't it? I reckon for me to get to here, I've probably had 11 plus goes at my crossbar challenge.
Yeah.
And that's the truth, isn't it? That's the thing. It's like crossbar challenge. You can just keep on pegging away at it to hit that crossbar, or you just make the right choice, get the right kick first time, and there you are. You're there and dusted.
It's like you obviously had the Michael Jordan quote, isn't it? In terms of, I might miss 99 shots, but that one shot on the 100th go that will go in, that's the one that can win a game. It could be game changing.
100%. 100%. So listen, there's some I ask people because it's football now. Messi or Ronaldo? Which one?
I've heard all. I've heard it all. I would go Ronaldo. The only way I'll go Ronaldo is I just look at him and how hard he works, and he's done it in different countries. He's done it in different countries, and he's been there. He's played in different leagues, and what I like, Messi's a fantastic player and has got a God-gift talent there. But where I look at Ronaldo, the difference for me, because they're both great players, is he's been to different countries, he's tested himself in different leagues, and he's been a winner in them. And his drive, and I just, they're both fantastic athletes. You can't knock them.
For me, I always go, do you know what? Who would I want to play in my team? And I'd always want Messi. But do you know what? I talked the other day.
That's a different question, though, Colin. That's a different question.
I know, but that's the thing, innit? That's what sometimes I ask people: who would you rather have in your team? And it's funny then how people change their mind. But I had a really good conversation the other day with a friend of yours. We'll talk about it in a second. Duncan. When I asked Duncan the same question, he said, do you know what? He said, Messi, they're both the same. because Messi is great because naturally he's just fantastic.
Yeah.
Ronaldo is great because he works so hard to be fantastic. And I think that's quite a fair thing, isn't it? And again, that goes back to hitting the crossbar your first time, or trying 1,000 times to hit the crossbar like Lewis did.
Yeah, but you take it into school. You know, Colin, let's refer it back to our learners. You take this into school. How many times were you in a classroom? I know I was, because like I said, I wasn't the greatest academic, let's say it that way. And all these people in if I went back to school and go, okay, what have you achieved? What have you done?
Yeah.
And there can be some really bright people, and they might not have achieved as much as someone else who's not as academic, if that makes sense. Where you know, me and Lewis can look on and go, do you know what, we've had a bloody good time doing what we're doing. We've really enjoyed every step, learned loads of skills. No day is the same. But look at all the young people that we are having a real good impact on, hopefully a really good
100%.
impact on their life, and giving them opportunities and chances where, you know, like Lewis, he done his football. Like me, I didn't even make it as far as what Lewis did. But your plan B, if it's not to be a sportsman or woman, what is your plan B? How can you get there? And no matter what in life, I think you're always going to have to, you know, it's resilience for me, Colin. And I look at Ronaldo, and I think that resilience is there in him, probably more so than Messi, because Messi's talented, he's gifted, and he's in a great team. You know, Ronaldo is resilient to things.
And that is such a good metaphor to put onto life, isn't it? It really is. It works. It comes over. So 20 years ago, you and Lewis, I know the story, sat around Martin's kitchen table. What was the plan? What was your motivation to go, do you know what, this is what we're going to do and this is how we're going to do it? What's the biggest motivation?
Do you know what? It was it wasn't even running a business, Colin. It was actually just enjoying ourselves and doing something that we enjoyed doing. You know, people might go, well, what was your business plan? We didn't have a business plan, Cole.
No.
We were hungover one Sunday after a good Saturday night out, and we sat in McDonald's car park. We'd played football the day before, and must have had a bad game because we obviously hit the drink. And then we're just thinking, what can we do? And all we done was we were writing down on the back of a napkin all the different services that we could offer. Just me and Lewis.
Right.
Birthday parties, team coaching within schools.
Yeah.
That was our business plan.
Really? And that was it?
That was it. And Lewis's dad was fantastic. He said, look, guys, if you want to do this, I'll give you a sum of money.
Yeah.
Here it is. If you use it all up and you don't make the business work, I won't ask a penny back for you. If you make it work, brilliant. And do you know what? Lewis's dad, Martin's been he's been fantastic for us from the start. He's kept our feet on the ground when we needed to. But do you know what? That was a start. Having people to back you and say, don't worry if you make a mistake. He put his own money up front for us. We paid him back, you know, within good time. But there was no business plan. All we knew was we're going to go out there, we're going to get ourselves an after-school club each, we'll get ourselves a team coaching session each, and we'll get a couple of birthday parties during the month. That's how we worked. You know?
And just that build up from there. And sometimes I guess that's it. That's the simplicity of it, of an idea, hard work, more hard work, and just keeping it going. And that's it, isn't it?
Do you know where, for me, I think we enjoyed what we done. And when we enjoyed what we done, it grew, you know, things came to us. And that's what I say to my son and all the learners that I've educated personally myself is get into an industry that you're passionate about. Don't wake up in the mornings and go, I've got to go to work, or, you know, I've got to go and do this job that I don't like doing. You know, everyone in SCL has got a really important role within education, childcare, in making these young people's lives, you know, having an impact on them and giving them some really important, knowledge, skill sets to support them to go through. So, and to be honest, to go back to me and Lewis, you know, we were never educated on how to run a business.
No.
We went, Colin, we went along, and guess what? We made loads of mistakes. It's that Michael Jordan saying, we made loads of mistakes. But what you do is, when you make a mistake, you don't beat yourself up over it. You go, what can I do different?
Yeah. Do you know what? My son the other day, we were he was trying to fix the brakes on his bike. And we were there, and he did something, and I said to him, right, okay, cool, does it work? And it didn't work. I said, so what have you learned? And he goes, well, I don't know, Dad. I said, no, you have learned. That's what you're not going to do. So what can you learn? How can you process that? And actually making it a little bit hard for him by not going, it's this easy, mate, and just going in there and doing it myself. It allowed him to make those mistakes and move forward and fix it himself. And that's a lot. I mean, that is life, isn't it? And that's what I say.
I think it's difficult, isn't it? It's difficult for, we're both parents. It's difficult to allow people to make mistakes, but you need to allow them to make mistakes. And also, I think that's why, if you go into any, whether it's sport or education, Carl, you'll probably find this, with people that you've educated and played sport with, the ones who have the really early successes, find education easy at school. When they come up against, and the same with sport, you get the guys who go into the academy systems and whatever sport it may be, and they found everything really easy. They hit a point in their careers, their sporting careers and education life, where they hit a bump and then they don't know how to deal with it. Yeah. And it's the boys and girls who have had the troublesome journey that they know how, the strategies that they put in place to make sure that they can get round and overcome and be, like we talked about Ronaldo, resilient. You're resilience in different, in different environments. And I think that's where me and Lewis, we enjoyed it. We made mistakes. We made up for mistakes. We learned from mistakes, and we just moved it forward. And opportunities found us, Colin. We didn't look at going into certain different markets back in the days, because opportunities found us, because, do you know what, we were good at what we'd done. I don't mind saying that, because we're good. And then we found like-minded people like us who joined, and we had a really good team. It was just enjoyable.
So talking about the team, I mean, one of the SCL, one of the things I love lots of things about working for SCL, as you know. So, hopefully I can keep my job for another week, but I've not been found out yet.
Keep the question simple.
That's the thing. I'm trying to do that. But so putting the learner first, I love that. I love that thing, because you're putting the learner first, putting people first is so important for SCL. I've spoken about him just now. So Duncan, I know we've got a scheme coming up. Do you want to mention a little bit about the scheme we've got going on with Duncan that you've sorted out? Yeah,
if I may, I've always had this idea in my tiny head about offering an added benefit to our learners, no matter what sport. We're heavily into football, because me and Lewis from a football background, but we've gone into partner cricket clubs, rugby clubs, different sports. So when the learners leave school, they have a period of time until we start in September. So what we thought, but we always wanted to do a keep warm program, and during this lockdown period, it's given us a time to actually come up with a good idea. Duncan's my physio. He's a really knowledgeable bloke, and I know you've had the interviews with him, and people know his skill set, where he's been in terms of his athletics, and he's a fantastic strength and conditioning coach and physio. So I come up with this idea and came to Dunk and say, Dunk, I want to give the learners an added benefit, and if they want to use it or not, they don't have to. But I would advise to go down that road, because I know you and Lewis were speaking about it, and I just want to mention it, just to go back a stage. In this lockdown period, you two were mentioning that there was a lot of time and for our learners to think about coming out of this. If your bit of advice was about coming out stronger, fitter, use your time wisely.
This is actually that's great, because that was my next question. So I have to go back to my notes now. So it's cool.
Right. So you got me thinking in that interview that you had there. So I got a hold of Dunk. Said, Dunk, I want an 8 to 12 week program that the learners can do, and they don't have to have any kit and equipment, because we know some people have got kit and equipment and other people haven't. And I didn't want that to be a barrier. Okay, so he's devised a program where it's an 8 to 12 week return to training program. Okay, it's not get fit, it's return to training, because football season will start. God knows when that will start with obviously the situation that we've got in hand. But I looked at it in many different ways. Physically, it will get you prepared, ready to go into pre-season without any equipment. All you just need is an area. You can do it indoors, you can do it outdoors. You don't have to have great space. There are some 20-minute runs, but we get around outside. So, we can go down to local park. We can run in the streets. We're all doing that at the moment. But it is it's structured for the learners. So they can go from week 1 to week 8 or week 12, depending on how long we're on lockdown for. And it gives a gradual build up. And because it's time based, as Duncan mentioned, Colin, you could be a lot fitter than me. So in 60 seconds, if we were doing, I don't know, squat jumps, squat thrust, you might be hitting 40s and I might be hitting 20s. But in that program, it's relevant. It's distance traveled. Yeah. So for me, it was really important that we can give our learners something physically and mentally, something to do, that when we come out of lockdown, they go back into their sport, they're actually going to be quicker, stronger, physically better than what they would have been without the program. Now, this is all free. This doesn't cost anything. You can go on your apps on your phone and you can download these, and you have to pay for them. This is what we're doing, added benefit. We're giving these to our learners so they can go out there, they can do some returning to training exercises and get them back into that the world of being fit and ready for sport.
And this is what I said to Lewis the other day, and I said to my son the same, is that this is like an unprecedented time. It's a unique moment, and what it allows us to kind of almost stop, reevaluate things, and make ourselves better, to move ourselves forward. Because at the end of the day, that's, as we've said, this whole journey from little Steve Franks leaving school with his GCSEs, his O levels.
Lucky to get one.
Well, yeah, they don't say that, but that's not the done man now, does it? Because that's your journey, and this is a moment to sit down and go, do you know what? I'm going to come out of this stronger and better, in a better position in every aspect of my life, so I can move forward and just be a success. And that's another great thing that SCL are doing. So, do you know, another
you've hit there, and for any learners learning, whether they're listening to this, we're still in lockdown, or whether we're back into a normal world, I still think, we had a conversation on the phone yesterday, didn't we, Colin, about life, and Lewis sent me a podcast, and I listened to it, and the guys and girls that were on this podcast were all about, look, we're in a crazy time, but look at the positive of this crazy time. Take a step back. Reevaluate what you're doing. And there was a couple of bits that I thought, do you know what I spoke to you about yesterday, and I just want to give it to the learners and think, actually, write down 5 to 10 things that have been really positive about this lockdown. Write down 5 to 10 things you don't like about it, because what you want to do is you want to analyse that, and you want to try and make the changes when we go back into the normal world, and go, I want to make sure we do this. Like for me, it'd be, I haven't been travelling as much, so it's given me more time to actually be more productive with inside planning. Me and Lewis looking at the business. Where do we want to go? Personally, what other skill sets do I want to learn to add to my skill sets that I've got at the moment? And I think that's what I'd like to say to learners is, use this time productively. You said it to your lad. I've said it to my 3 kids. Yeah. I'm going, come on, guys. Use this time productively. What can make you better?
Yeah, definitely, 100%. I'll tell you, one of the skills I've picked up is my home haircut. So I'm doing my self haircuts now. I did say that's what we should do. We should do it. Haircuts.
As you can tell, and from the grey hair, that I've not had that self haircut, and I don't trust myself. But yours looks brilliant. I'd have to say, gutted your beard's gone though, Carl, because you look good with your beard.
I'm going to be honest with you, is that when this whole come back and they said about not touching your face, I know that the amount of times I touched my beard and stuff like that, I thought, do you know what, I'm going to get rid of it. And then actually, do you know what, I got rid of it and I thought, do you know what, it's just so grey. It's so grey. So I'm just going to keep it off for a little while. Maybe I'll go back in Yeah, see if I can put some boot polish on it, something like that, and take it out.
I think I might have to at the moment as well, especially in the hair.
Oh. So, biggest bit of advice. Actually, no. It's before that. It's one of the things I always think of, because as a teacher, there was a model that I modelled myself on, and I always give him a shout out because he's on my Facebook, and I put it on my Facebook. But for Mr. Tamplin, thank you very much. Mr. Tamplin is my history teacher in sixth form. I'll be honest, I failed my A levels, and I retook him a later date, and actually I passed. But Mr. Tamplin was that teacher that when I got into teaching, he's who I wanted to be. Totally inspiring, the person I want to be. So for you, was there a coach or was there a teacher, somebody that you can turn around and go, do you know what, that was the person I wanted to emulate through my life?
Yeah, do you know what? Listening to the interview you had with Lewis, very interesting that, you always have a teacher. I mean, I like to split my life up into compartments, and I've got a couple of mentors, people you look up to, role models, whatever you want to call them. The first one was my PE teacher at school, Mr. Corrie. He was fantastic, in terms of saying, look, you're good on the sports field, but you need to make sure that you continue to do your studies. You study hard, you work hard, and we just had a really good relationship. That was first class. So that was at school. Yeah. When I left school, football role models. Let's go football role models, because I know Lewis had a couple. Mine was Paolo Maldini and Franco Baresi. So I had two.
Yeah, Maldini's in my all-time 11, because I mean that's a proper old school defence. Somebody you go, do you know what? I'm a little bit scared. If you're on the ball, I go a little bit scared, because he's got the ability, but also, I don't want to get.
He did a bit of everything, didn't he? He was a talented football player, great left foot. He was a defender, never got dirty. No. Even shorts were clean. He was a great defender, and he was a good-looking dude as well. So he had everything, and just the way he conducts himself on and off the pitch, he was brilliant. He thought about the game, very tactical, the way that he went about his business on the pitch. And Franco Baresi was another one where he wasn't a big lad. I'm not a big lad. I had to look at all the smaller people on the pitch to see how they played, and he was another one who he led by example. He was a captain of Milan, and he was a real leader, a leader in a great way as well. So coaching, I've got a number of coaches that I've got as role models, because I've done all my coaching badges. I was lucky to work part time at 3 professional football clubs. I've working with some fantastic players, and I worked with some really, really good coaches. But there's two real ones that stick out for me. As being a coach, one of them was a chap called Jim Kelman. He does our quality assurance program.
Yeah, Jim.
And he took me through what back then my B license, gave me advice. Right. He introduced me and Lewis into the world of post-16 education. So we owe Jim a lot. Me personally, I owe Jim a lot. And he was definitely one of my mentors growing up, seeing how he done things, how he spoke to people, how he educated people. His depth of knowledge was just on a different level. And then I started to get into academy structures, and there was a chap called Steve Rutter who worked for the FA, and he was just on a different planet. He was brilliant. He was really, really good. So I've got sort of 3 or 4 role models in different lights, to sort of help you along. But they all feed into the. Yeah.
It's really good. Have those people to look up to and just try to emulate in every which way you can. So we're sat here today. Obviously, we're still in lockdown. Yeah. A lot of students, it's this time of year, the students are coming to the end, especially for our second year students, are like going, right, we're going to be going, soon, like, this summer, and it's moving on to my next step.
It's a scary point in time, isn't it? It's scary is when you leave school.
Yeah.
When you're 15, 16, and now when they're leaving, second year of college, you're thinking, wow, what am I going to go and do?
It's a scary time. And so if you had some advice to give all of our learners, but especially those just starting out, leaving us and just going on to their life, what is the biggest bit of advice you could give them to sort of move forward, especially in these times?
I think, spending this, like we said before, is evaluate where you are, where you want to be. Give yourself some goals to go out and achieve. Don't be frightened of going for something and not getting it. Whether that's an application for an apprenticeship, a job, whatever it may be, just go for it. Really go for it. Give it your best, and be resilient. Be resilient in everything you do. Try and try again. But look at your learnings from if you don't succeed, you try again, but you try again in a different way.
Resiliency is definitely such a learned thing and such a valuable skill to actually be able to possess. Yeah. Do you know what? I'll just keep on going. I'll keep on moving at it.
Question for you, Cole. How do we educate that? How do we? I've looked at it. Having an education and sports business with Lewis, myself working in professional football clubs for over 10 years, working with some great players. How do you build that resilience up? It was a massive question in the academy setups when I was there. But how do you build it?
See, for me, I look at it when I was teaching. This is how I looked at it. It's the first year I'd have kids come straight out of school.
Yeah.
And so like that year was me starting to think about preparing them to move forward and giving them some skills. So even like the skills to go, right, this is I'm not going to spoon feed you your assignment. I'm going to help you work out how to do it. Because like I say, is that in the future when, because we can Google anything, we can go online and search stuff, but actually those people can sit down and work it out. Like I said about my son with his back brake on his bike, he thought about it and he worked it out. And then the second year is all about really going, okay, cool. We've done through this foundation where we've spoon fed you a little bit, but now we're going to teach you like as grown-ups, and you're going to start rolling this out, and you are at the center. And I had a class, one of my last classes, and it was brilliant. We got to a point, probably after the first half term of their second year, that teaching used to be just on a round table. I'd sit there as an equal to them. We'd put up a subject, and we'd just start a discussion, and we'd all be working on different things. And I'd like lead it and show them where to go. But that was their resilience, is they'd learned those things to go, do you know what? I'm not afraid to put my hand up and make a mistake, because that's the thing, isn't it?
I think that's a good bit of advice to the learners, like you're saying, asking me. I think that bit of don't be scared, jump in it. There's no such thing as a silly answer, is there?
See, I remember I got a bit of advice once in I can't remember who it was. It was from my sport. So this guy gave me this bit of advice, and the advice was, you can't regret something that you've done. You can only regret the things you haven't done.
Yeah.
And do you know what? As I sat down, I thought, do you know what? You're right, because there's lots of things I didn't do that actually now, in retrospect, I wish I had a crack at.
Yeah. Do you know what, Colin? I always say, when probably like you, is you educate the young people. And you go, okay, that young person know what they want to do. This young person doesn't know what they want to do.
No.
But you just want to give them their skill sets to go on and that resilience to just go out there and
do you know
what they want to get.
Some of the best successes, I think, personally, as a teacher I've had, are those lads and girls who come to me at 16 for their first year with us, and they've got no idea exactly what you said. And now I see them, they're like coming up as they send me a photograph of their graduation when they've gone to university.
Yeah,
and they're
brilliant.
The first student the first person in their family to go to university. That's brilliant. That's resilience. That's somebody going, do you know what? I had no idea of doing this, but I've turned it around and this is what I've done. I say again, as always, that the girl I had as a student who went through BTEC and she turned it around. She wasn't going to come back, and actually she did. Master's degree in law. That's resilience. Yeah, that's somebody going, no, I'm going to keep on at this and do it. So message at the moment for learners as well for this online experience. Give us a message for all the students out there who are going to be listening to this and going, I know I've got my strength and conditioning coming up with Duncan. That's going to be great. What else can they do? How else can we help them at the moment? Is there anything else we can do?
Do you know what? First and foremost, well done to you guys to get everything online, because I think that's the way the world's going. We can get everything we possibly want online, all the bits of information that we ever need. So I think all the advice that we've gone throughout this interview, Carl, has been probably for the guys just to reflect on where they are. You know, what skill sets have they got at the current time? What skill set haven't they got? Right, okay, what do I need to get there? Speak to your tutor. Your tutors have got, you know, loads and loads of experience. I mean, I see them on LinkedIn posting. I mean, what great stuff are the guys doing on LinkedIn? You know, setting challenges, you know, from football challenges to academic challenges. It's absolutely brilliant. So, you know, ask your tutors. They'll give you pearls of wisdom. They'll give you advice. You know, just ask loads of different people in different industries, and then hopefully that will make you have a better idea of what you want and what you're not looking to do in the future. Because I know there's some big decisions to make it, you know, in the future. But don't be frightened.
100%. As always, thank you so much. That was epic. I really enjoyed that. I always like talking to you.
Like Piers Morgan. We might lose your goal to go to interviewing all these famous people.
I don't. Can I be somebody else? I don't want to be Piers Morgan. I want to be somebody else.
I couldn't think of anyone else. I didn't know anyone who's really like.
Because he's an Arsenal fan, isn't it? That's the thing. That's what you're doing.
Yeah.
All right. So thank you. Obviously, I always love having a chat with you. So we always do a virtual handshake because we're online now.
Right.
There we go. That's good. And I'll say goodbye to you. Next week we'll have somebody else and we'll have a chat with them, and we'll see how it goes. So keep an eye out for Duncan's strength and conditioning. That's coming. And
it'll be launched on Monday. So
it's going to be launched on. Actually, it'll be when this comes out. It'll be launched last Monday. How about that?
Oh, great. It's already gone. But what we've done is it doesn't matter when these guys and girls pick them up, Carl, because it's an 8-week program. You can start it whenever you want. But all it is it's online. You pick it up. You put it on your phone. You can put it on your tablet. Put it, and you just work out with somebody doing the exercise in front of you, so you can keep your form, refer back to it. And that's what I wanted. That's what I wanted to learn, to have some not written down on a bit of paper, someone visually in front of you doing the exercises.
Proper. Cheers, Steve. Thanks very much, and I'll see you soon. Cheers,
Stay safe.